Here's Mommy. Here's your Mama.
What are you doing, huh? Where you been going, huh?
Oops. I got it.
Oops, you dropped your toilet.
This child was brought to the hospital when he was 4 weeks old with a broken leg and bruises on his head and body. Assailant or assailants unknown.
Is he getting big?
Yeah.
You can take his hat off if you want.
Sam, Mama, can I have that?
What? How old is he now?
He's a year and 5 months. 5 or 6 months. I can't keep track. Just take your sweater off, please.
Let's see, it's been, what, about a month since you saw him, or?
About a month. I get to see him usually once a month, and that's it.
That's all.
And it gets to me after a while. And every time I see him, I emotionally upset him, and then it emotionally upsets me. Take the other hand. Hey, little towhead. Mama loves you, you know that, don't you? Whoa! Mama catch you on the fly. Now, where do you think you're going? You went down? You went down?
He looks kind of happy where he is. Does he generally recognize him?
No. Last month, he didn't recognize me at all.
Yeah, well, I've been in on some of the visits.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of them. I just said I haven't been able to be available for all of them.
Yeah. No, as soon as this is over, he gets to go out and see his grandma. She gets to see him.
How many times have you seen him in the past year?
About 5 times, and that's about it. Because of transportation problems and the winter and the weather and everything. Sometimes, you know, whenever I see him, it upsets me so greatly that I have to go back to my psychiatrist and get calmed down again. People could understand why parents get upset when they take children away. They know what they feel, you know. But they don't.
Do you think it's harder now that you're seeing him right now?
Not now. It's just separating from leaving him again. And the minute I leave him, I'll start it. I don't know. I'm just that way. There? Okay.
Oops, he dropped his toy again. Gracious sakes. You're going to be such a big boy.
What are you doing, huh?
Don't you want to go back and see Mama? Don't you want to go back and see Mama now? Huh?
Oh, here's a little one.
How do you feel when he doesn't react to you?
Hurt. Like all mothers. You know, if a child doesn't react to its own mother, then you know something's haywire somewhere. It doesn't help the mother much either.
Do you still have the sensation that this is your baby?
My baby? He better be my baby. I gave birth to him. Hey, baby. Now, where do you think you're going?
You don't want to fall off on the floor.
You want to hurt your head, do you? You want to bang your head against that? It's a little solid, you know. What's the matter? He reminds me of his father in too many ways.
He does? How's
Yes.
that?
His facial expressions and features.
You don't like that?
I don't like that. Don't like his father, period.
He does look a lot like his dad.
He looks more like his daddy than he does his mom.
I think that brings some kind of bad feelings.
Well, it brings back bad memories. And the psychiatrist says that doesn't help my emotional status as it is. There's your hat and sweater.
Is that one thing that's made you think about, you know, what you're going to do with it?
Yeah.
For your final decision?
Yeah. Mom says if it all comes down to it, you know, and if he brings back too many bad memories on me, then it's better to sign him away than keep him. And I think it'll be better for him and for me both, because that way I'll have the rights to visit him as my own brother and not as my son.
You want your parents to adopt him?
Well, at least I know he's going to have a good home. And he's going to be spoiled. That's why my mom wants him. And I think that it would be best for the both of us, because in this way I know he'd get back faster than what he has. Now try and drop it on the floor.
It doesn't fall backward here.
Oh, he's pretty stable. He can, while he's walking. That's what got me into a lot of trouble, too.
What's that?
3 days old, he was turning over from his back to his tummy.
And what happened?
He'd roll into the crib rail. That's where he got most of his black and blue marks on his head.
That's when he was 3 days old.
Yeah, when he was 3 days old. I'll put him on his back, but she's not had him.
Well, listen, why don't I go ahead and take him out, and then...
Oh,
Come on. Say bye-bye to Mama. Hey, Jimbo. Bye-bye, sweetheart. Okay. How do you feel? Really, how do you feel when you do get to see him?
If I could explain that, it'd be something else. Like all mothers with their children. And, you know, being separated from him takes a great deal out of me and as well as him. And the foster parents, you know, having to get him ready to go out and then bringing him back in, that doesn't help him at all. That upsets their schedule and mine as well as upsetting the baby as well. But it upsets me greatly because once in a while after seeing him, I'll have to go to a psychiatrist to get back where I belong. In the last 3 months, I've noticed a change in him as well as in me. I've become a little more stable than what I was. I've been writing and going to school and doing my schoolwork and everything. I've done everything the county welfare's wanted me to do, and still I keep holding on to it. I don't understand their laws and I don't understand their regulations.
How many times have you moved in about the year and a half now that we've known each other?
About 18 times.
How do you think that would have been on the baby to have moved that many times?
I don't think it would have been so good. Because it wasn't doing me any good either. I'd get settled in one place and then we'd move. Oof.
When you see the baby each time, does it kind of remind you of what happened in the very beginning and how this all came about?
Yes. And the brutal beatings and neglect and everything else was piled up on me.
Yeah.
Not that we didn't have any place to stay, it's just that he wouldn't keep a job and support me.
So how long have you been separated now?
Approximately 9.5 months. And it's going to stay permanent this time.
When your baby, when we found that the baby had bruises and a broken leg, and explained to you that we would have to send in a report regarding these injuries, what was your reaction and what was your idea as to what had happened and why this was all going on?
Well,
did you understand the report, first of all, the fact that
no, I didn't.
you had to send in the report?
Well, I knew that you had to send in the report, but I didn't know what was in the report. Fact is, my lawyer, he's been fighting this case for me, but he can't handle it because it's out of his jurisdiction. And he's referred to another lawyer in Adams County because I don't have a $3,000 income a year, and he feels that if these child abuse cases can't be proven, you know, unless they're seen by eyewitnesses. And a lot of this was on hearsay evidence when you read the report.
Yeah, it's a little bit different in a dependency hearing. If it were a criminal hearing, if somebody was trying to accuse you criminally of abusing your child,
they'd have to
have eyewitnesses.
Eyewitnesses to prove.
But in this particular situation, it's a dependency hearing where if the child is not receiving adequate care, and by that they feel that maybe a 4-week-old baby with a broken leg and bruises might not be receiving adequate care. Now, they don't know exactly how it happened.
No, I do.
Well, now, how did it...
Over many months of conversations like this one with pediatricians, social workers, psychiatrists, and judges, several different versions have emerged of how the child was injured.
And I come home, and I found him beating on the baby, because the baby had been crying. And instead of finding out if he was hungry or he was wet, he just wouldn't, he'd start in on it. And I walked in on this, and about that time I wished I had a gun, because I would have shot him. I don't believe in hitting a baby that young anyway, unless it's, you know, mothers play patty cake with their baby anyway. But Jimmy, the black and blue mark that he had on his cheek when they took him had come from a baby bottle from his cousin. She dropped, rolled over it during the night and rolled out of the crib onto his face. And I was staying with my brother and sister-in-law when they took him. And I don't feel it. If I'm going to be one in a million cases of child abuse, I can name about 6 that are child abuse cases that's in Adams County right now, and I don't feel that they should have the right to step in on one as well as not stepping in these others, you know. They catch me, but they didn't catch these others yet.
When Dr. Kemp began his intensive work with battered child cases, he realized that pediatricians could do only half the job, treating the children. In virtually every case, the parents needed psychotherapy. At Dr. Kemp's invitation, Dr. Brant Steele, a psychiatrist, joined the battered child team. He has treated dozens of parents, exploring their feelings about themselves and about their children.
Usually have a deep sense of inferiority and uneasiness, unsureness of their own worth and ability. People were often quite uneasy about being seen. First, because they were already under a little bit of suspicion in relation to their activities toward their children and had experienced some degree of accusation. The difference between the parent who abuses his child and the one who doesn't is in some ways very minor, but involves a very important thing. I don't believe any of us who have been parents and are honest about it, but what we have at many times been ready to clobber our children. The thing that keeps us from it is apparently our ability to sympathize or empathize with the small child and have enough love and interest and awareness of the child's difficulties that we think as much of him and his needs as we do of our own. And this helps us hold back some of the aggression and anger that arises in us.